Good morning. This is the Insight AI Daily Brief for July 23, 2026. 8 Coding AI Updates. First, Copilot Versus. Also on the board, Gemini 3.6 Flash is now available in GitHub Copilot. Gemini CLI publishes release v0.53.0 preview.0. Let's get into it. Lead, GitHub Copilot API. What changed? GitHub Copilot update is documented in the official source. Copilot versus raw API access. What are you actually paying? Affected users or developers choosing GitHub Copilot API for model access or API integration. The concrete evidence is source date July 22, 2026 in the source record. Why it matters: GitHub moved Copilot versus raw API access. What are you actually paying into developer workflow surfaces? Access is confirmed docs, endpoints, account requirements, and rollout status. The remaining boundary is pricing, quotas, and rollout limits still need confirmation. Watch next for GitHub Copilot API. Watch the GitHub blog. GitHub Blog for endpoint examples, limits, issue reports. Source: the GitHub blog. Story 1. Gemini 3.6 Flash is now available in GitHub Copilot. Change: GitHub Copilot 3.6. Gemini 3.6 Flash is now available in GitHub Copilot. Proof: 3.6 from GitHub Changelog. Impact: GitHub changed the coding loop around Gemini 3.6 Flash is now available in GitHub. Next for GitHub Copilot 3.6. Watch supported plans, rollout notes, rate limits. Story 2. Gemini CLI publishes release v0.53.0 preview.0. Change: group cancelled tool responses in coalesce consecutive roles to prevent 400 bad request. Proof: version 0.53.0 from Gemini CLI. Impact: Gemini CLI moved Gemini CLI publishes release v0.53.0 preview. Next for Gemini CLI v0.53.0 preview.0. Watch Gemini CLI GitHub. Story 3. Vercel updates Ling 3.0 Flash is now available on AI Gateway. Change: Vercel 3.0 Ling 3.0 Flash from Ant Group is now available on AI Gateway. Proof: 3.0 from Vercel Changelog. Impact: Vercel moved Vercel updates Ling 3.0 Flash is now available on AI Gateway Closer. Next for Vercel 3.0. Watch supported plans, rollout notes, rate limits. Story 4. Vercel AI SDK publishes at AI SDK, workflow harness at 1.0.41. Change: updates workflow harness dependencies. Proof: 1.0.41 from Vercel AI SDK. Impact: Vercel AI SDK moved Vercel AI SDK publishes at AI SDK. Next for Vercel AI SDK 1.0.41. Watch Vercel AI SDK for endpoint examples. Story 5. Custom code review rules for Codex. Change: OpenAI Codex Code review rules. OpenAI update is documented in the official source. Custom. Proof: source date July 20, 2026 from OpenAI developers. Impact: OpenAI changed the coding loop around custom code review rules for Codex. Next for OpenAI Codex Code review rules, check the next OpenAI update for availability. Story 6. Gemini CLI nightly release. Change: sequentially verify cached credentials and restore Google application credentials fallback. Proof: version 0.52.0 from Gemini CLI. Impact: Gemini CLI made Gemini CLI publishes nightly release measurable. Next for Gemini CLI nightly release, watch reproducible benchmark details. Story 7. Claude Code publishes v2.1.218. Change: the source records a developer-facing update. Proof: v2.1.218 from Claude Code. Impact: Claude Code changed the coding loop around Claude Code publishes v2.1.218. Next for Claude Code review rules, check the next Claude Code update. Watch next for GitHub Copilot API. Watch the GitHub blog. GitHub Blog for endpoint examples, limits, issue reports. That will show whether the update is ready to use. This brief is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not investment advice, product endorsement, professional guidance, or a request to act on any company or security mentioned.